Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show's 49-year-old Florida man and Proud Boys member Gilbert Fonticoba was a Republican executive committee member for the Miami-Dade County prior to his arrest for January 6th. And he was known to boast about the violence perpetrated by his group in November of 2020 following a pro-Trump rally and a march in D.C. Fonticoba posted online, quote, "Some of them got their heads caved in tonight," and, quote, "victory cigar after we kicked on Antifa ass. Hashtag Proud Boys did nothing wrong." Yeah, they never do, right? It's always someone else's fault. Anyway, on January 6th, Fonticoba joined his fellow Proud Boys at the Capitol. They took part in tearing down barricades to help the mob advance towards the building. And Fonticoba joined in with the other Proud bigots in a surge and a siege against the outnumbered officers. And he was seen entering the Capitol with January 6th convict and Proud Boys member Joe Biggs. Then Fonticoba celebrated in a group chat. He wrote, quote, "We just stormed the Capitol." After January 6th, when others were condemning the attack online, Fonticoba would just respond with "fuck you." Sometimes he added stuff, but always the F you. And in response to posts about the officers who were harmed, Fonticoba wrote, quote, "fuck the blue." He also pushed the false flag conspiracy theory online. He also falsely blamed the police and Antifa for staging the Capitol attack. And at the same time, Fonticoba kept boasting to others about the Proud bigots' criminal activity that day. So couldn't really make up his mind. He told one person, quote, "We breached the fucking Capitol building, brah. That shit was fucking intense as fuck, bro." And he shared information with other Proud bigot members about how to avoid police surveillance. So Fonticoba was arrested on October 26th of 2021, and he was charged with obstructing an official proceeding, civil disorder, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. Fonticoba refused a plea deal. He opted for a stipulated bench trial. And in October of 2023, Fonticoba was convicted of obstructing an official proceeding and civil disorder. Based on the obstruction conviction, Fonticoba was looking at up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. But the prosecutor requested 5 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. So at his sentencing hearing, Fonticoba cried. He asked the judge not to send him to prison. And he said, quote, "I have brought shame upon my family through my actions on Jan 6. Fonticoba's attorney told the judge that her client has spent the last 3 years being de-radicalized. And this was in regard not to just January 6th, but she said like the Proud Boys, political extremism. She also referred to Fonticoba as naive, and she said that his parents were Cuban immigrants and they raised him to be anti-authoritarian. His attorney said this caused Fonticoba to be more easily swayed by partisan rhetoric. I gotta stop here. I gotta throw the bullshit flag. How is it anti-authoritarian to try to overthrow the government and then refuse to accept the results of a legitimate election? And his attorney argued for leniency due to the fact that Fonticoba is a single father and he's the caretaker of his elderly mother. So you've got a 49-year-old man who has all the time in the world, apparently, to go hang out with his fellow Proud bigots and go fight in the streets, go travel to D.C. and fight in the streets. He has plenty of time and money to travel from Florida to D.C. to go looking for trouble and try to steal my vote, try to steal your vote, but he can't go to prison because he cares so much about his kid and so much about his mother. Yeah, no. As always, if he cared so much about his family, he would have been home with them on January 6th instead of in D.C. with Donald Trump. So, should not be a factor. U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly presided over Fonticoba's case, and although he didn't believe Fonticoba was as culpable as other Proud Boys members that he sentenced, like he didn't believe he is, part of the conspiracy and part of the tip of the spear, so to speak, he told Fonticoba, quote, "You were part of a 100-man strong fighting force that circled the Capitol." So in the end, Fonticoba was sentenced to 4 years in prison and 3 years of probation. There was no mention of a fine or a restitution fee, so I don't believe that the judge imposed either one. All in all, a decent sentence for someone who didn't physically harm police. He got slammed because he was involved in the pre-planning with the Proud Bigots, though, and he refused a plea deal. So that's why he's doing so many years, even though he wasn't necessarily violent that day, didn't commit any acts of vandalism and so forth. But yeah, that's why. Don't take a plea deal. You're involved in the planning, so you kind of had forethought. There you go. So he is lucky he escaped without a conspiracy charge, because the others, they got slapped with it. So he could have been. So he definitely dodged a bullet with that. Anyway, the judge said that Fonticoba can self-surrender at sometime in April, and he's recommending that he serve his prison term near his family, so somewhere in Florida. Also, the judge said that he'll allow Fonticoba to take part in a substance abuse program, and that could shave some time off of his prison term, his time behind bars. So we'll see what happens, and if he's full of it or if he actually, had a come to Jesus moment. I'll let you know if I hear any more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it, become a subscriber if you have not. A lot of you are still acting shady. You're still watching, not subscribed, don't know what you're doing. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified of all my videos. And then if you can help out financially, it really helps to keep the show going. If you can donate, even if it's a one-time tip or super thanks, truly appreciate it. Means the world to me. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.